Blackberry pie, anyone? One of the blessings that we have in living in our area and being a part of our church family is wonderful blackberry pies with the what's called the German blackberries. When the Germans came from Russia, from the Volga region, beginning back in the 1870s, they brought with them these little berries. They were Schwarzenbeeren. Schwarzenbeeren. That's hard to say. Schwarzenbeeren. And I'm not even sure I'm saying it right, but it means blackberry. And these are a special kind of blackberry that grow voluntarily. They're actually a nightshade plant, and they grow voluntarily. But of course, people do plant them and cultivate them now because they're so popular. My goodness, they're popular and they're expensive too. One of these blackberry pies can sell up to $50, and that's getting up there. There's another kind of blackberry, the one more that I'm familiar with. It's like a boysenberry. And where I come from in Oregon, these blackberries, as you can see in this picture, are much larger. And they grow wild too. In fact, they grow along the highways and the roadways, and they spray them with herbicides to kill them because they're a nuisance. So you have two different kinds of berries. They both grow rather, in the wild, but they both are delicacies and make wonderful pies. But they both can become weeds if they are mixed in with another kind of crop. They can be absolutely a nuisance. Jesus one time gave a parable about that. In Matthew chapter 13, we read, "Here's another story Jesus told. The kingdom of heaven is like a farmer who planted good seed in his field. But that night, as the workers slept, his enemy came and planted weeds among the wheat, then slipped away. When the crop began to grow and produce grain, well, the weeds also grew. The farmer's workers went to him and said, 'Sir, the field where you planted that good seed is full of weeds. Where did they come from?' 'An enemy has done this,' the farmer exclaimed. 'Well, should we pull out the weeds?' they asked. 'No,' he replied. 'If you do that, you'll uproot the wheat. Let them both grow together until harvest. Then I will tell the harvesters to sort out the weeds and tie them into bundles and burn them, and to put the wheat into barns.'" Now, the interesting thing about this is it's called the wheat and the tares. The wheat is the weeds are called tares, Tares, and it grows very much like wheat. In fact, as you can see from this picture, it looks a lot like wheat. And so when it's young, you can't tell the difference. Even experienced people have a problem trying to tell the difference between the two. But they grow together, and then they are, when it's harvested, then they're separated. They actually, in Roman law, they actually had a law about people planting these tares in wheat fields, because it was a thing. If you were an enemy of a farmer and you wanted to set a farmer back, you'd go out and you'd sow these things in his field, and you'd create all kinds of problems for him. There's actually a law against that in Roman law. But there are several lessons that we can get from this passage. One of them is, and we're going to only cover one here, one of them is that before the judgment day comes, as the church exists, there will be pretenders who will deceive people. You know, we need to be on guard for that. That's why it's so important for us to be people of the Word of God, to love the Word of God, to accept the Word of God, and to follow the Word of God. Because there are pretenders, there are false prophets who will come in and try to deceive us. That's part of what Satan does. That's what this parable is about. And the thing is, they're all around. We live with people like this in our world today. But what are we to do about it? Well, the master, the farmer, said, just leave it, and then when we do the harvest, we'll take care of it. And that's what God is going to do with all of these pretenders. So our job, here's the wonderful thing. Our job is not to judge people, because, wow, there are so many different viewpoints and ideas. That's why we have so many different denominations, and churches, because of so many ideas. Some of them are false, and some of them are pretenders. Our job is not to go in and try to weed out all of that, because if we do that, we're going to hurt people. We're going to hurt the good people. Our job, our wonderful job, is to love one another and be loving. Be on guard for false prophecy and don't allow it to lead us astray. But let's leave the judging to God and let us do what He has called us to do, and that is to love one another and to love others for Jesus' sake. So now, go and enjoy some great blackberry pie.